So I'm Apoor Shankar, CTO of Inbloxme, and Inbloxme is all about building secure and seamless Web3 experiences. So I'll tell you more about exactly how we are doing that, how we are creating more secure and seamless Web3 experiences. Let's dive deeper in the product. So what we are trying to do is making the future of blockchain accessible. And how we are doing that is by enabling secure and seamless Web3 experiences using keyless transactions and a built-in digital assets vault. So if you look at the blockchain applications right now, they're not actually accessible by the normal people if they are not able to understand the technical jargons which they're bombarded with at the start of using a decentralized application. They won't be able to use it, and they won't be able to understand the value additions which the decentralized application is providing. So we are trying to fix that problem. So what is the origination of that problem? So if you look at it, there are cumulatively approximately 3,000 dApps which are active on Ethereum currently. The stats are taken out of State of dApps. And on an average, there are 90,000 approximately daily active users, which amounts up to be 30 daily active users per dApp on an average. Obviously, there are a few dApps which are having the most share of the users. But if you compare this market with the other application markets like iOS or Android, it's really less. And the reason is the experience. So the barriers which the users are facing, the first is experience, that the user experience is still dependent a lot on the protocol layer. If I'm trying to make a transaction, if I'm trying to use a dApp, what I have to do is create a wallet, sign transactions using my private key, think about my key security and all the aspects which come with it. Then the second thing, because of the experience problem, there is lack of adoption, and also the use cases which are being built by these dApps are not able to cater to the value additions to the users. And if you look at the traditional application side of things, there is a void between the rest of the internet and the dApps which are being out there, because there is no overlap, or there is nothing which can overlap both the things out there. So let's understand a user onboarding flow for a dApp. So when a user who's a no coiner reaches onto a dApp and wants to access the dApp, for example, Compound, the first thing they have to do is get a wallet. They might just search out that how to get a Ethereum wallet, and they might reach to MyEther wallet, Trust wallet, MetaMask, anything, and they will get a wallet. And then the second step is to get some crypto. So either they go to some centralized exchange or some P2P crypto website where they can buy crypto from, and then they bring that crypto to their wallet they're going to use the dApp with. And then the third thing is they have to sign transactions. Then they can sign transactions using MetaMask if they are that tech savvy, or they can use something called like Potus or Fortmatic, which becomes a wallet provider for them. And again, they have to transfer the crypto from their wallet in which they got crypto to the wallet on Potus or Fortmatic. And then from the dApp's perspective, if they want to ease up the user's pain of using the dApp can make the experience gasless by enabling back on your open Zeppelin. So there are multiple integrations over here. The problems being faced from the user side is the user is hopping from one screen to other while they're trying to use a dApp initially. And there are complex operations involved, and that leads to a drop in engagement for the user. And when the user is acquiring crypto on some centralized exchange and transferring the crypto to the wallet they are using the dApp with, they're losing money because of transaction fees over there. From the dApp's perspective, it increases the cost of user acquisition. When the users are being funneled from the landing page of the dApp to the application page, and the user finally starting to use the dApp, there's the users get dropped in between, and that increases the cost of acquisition over there. And obviously there is a less control over the user behavior over there. So when the users are trying to use the dApp cannot control the user behavior because the user is not inside the dApp ecosystem. They cannot exactly understand what the user is trying to do with the dApp, and they cannot understand the user flow. So what we have done, we have created one single SDK which can solve every single point inside the user onboarding process to a dApp. So the first thing is getting a wallet. We have created a gasless naming infrastructure on Ethereum, which is called Inblox ID, which wraps the Ethereum address with a name, with a human readable name. You can take up any name you want, and that gets stored on the Ethereum network itself. And using the SDK, anyone can resolve the name or can register a new name over there. Second thing is integrated on-ramp, off-ramp. So we have integrated on-ramp, off-ramp inside the dashboard itself, so anyone can buy cryptocurrencies while they're using a dApp. And then the third thing is keyless SDK. So keyless SDK basically allows the user to sign transaction by using a widget when they are inside a dApp. So you'll find a button or login via Inblox, the same as you find Potis or Fortmatic. And while you're inside the app, you can buy cryptocurrencies using the widget itself and not going on to some other screen or going to some other exchange to buy the cryptocurrency over there. And then it also provides gasless mechanisms over there. So the developers can enable gasless, and it makes all the transaction gasless for the user, and the dApp can pay the fees for the user. And it also comes with a built-in Web3 provider. So all the transactions can be relayed using the same package to the Ethereum blockchain. So one package can solve each and every problem for the developer to onboard a user. And for the user, it's just one click and everything is getting done. And the user can explore inside the widget itself and does not have to go out of the ecosystem. So if you look at the features, what we have built in 2020 is first thing is login via Inblox that allows a user to log in into a dApp using their Ethereum wallet, which is wrapped inside the naming infrastructure called Inblox ID, the identity wallets. Then keyless transactions, the SDK, which allows the user to sign transactions. The private keys are totally hybrid. They can be stored on the user's device itself, the mobile phone, or they can be stored in a vault on the cloud, depending on the user's choice, whatever the user wants. If the keys are stored on the cloud, it is the user can sign the transaction with a password. If the keys are stored on the user's mobile phone, the transactions can be signed by using biometrics of the user. And then on-ramp, off-ramp comes inside it. And then token swaps are also there. So for example, if you're using Decentraland and you don't have Mana tokens, you have ETH, you can directly swap from ETH to Mana inside the widget itself. You don't have to go out and go to Uniswap or Kyber. We have integrated Kyber inside it itself. So that is the current feature list which we are providing currently. And in 2021, we are looking at enabling private transactions for the user, building a smart wallet. So the entire identity wallet also gets converted to a smart wallet. So the user can directly make, have multi-sig wallet and directly can make transactions to other contract accounts. And then DeFi access, so that users can have direct access to the decentralized finance markets from here itself. So that is how the application looks like. So I'll make you go through each of the features one by one. So identity wallets, it wraps up your Ethereum address into one human redeemable name. And these are completely free. As I said, it's completely gasless and completely open source. So you can go out to our GitHub and check out the entire smart contract code and the SDK code, and it's completely open source. Now, the second thing is keyless transaction. So you can see there's a demo transaction going on that Uniswap is trying to log in the user inside the Uniswap application on the desktop. So when the user is trying to log in on the desktop, the user clicks on sign in via Inblox and enters the Inblox ID. There's a notification received by the user on the mobile application, and the user can select if they want to use the native wallet, the Inblox ID wallet, or some other wallet. And the user, when they clicks login, it asks for the biometric and logs the user in. Then it's one-click buy and sell crypto inside the mobile application itself. We are enabling users to buy cryptocurrencies inside. So we are active in 43 plus countries, and we are providing bank transfers, debit cards, SEPA transfers, and even UPI in India. And then comes one-click swaps. So again, token swaps on Ethereum blockchain currently. So users can swap from one token to other inside the application itself, and also while using a dApp inside the widget itself. And lastly, while the user is having a identity wallet, while the user is having a place where the user can store their assets and their keys are secure either on their device or on the cloud, obviously they want an interface where they can manage their entire digital assets from there. So that is the smart asset management dashboard, from where the user can see all the transactions which are happening on their Ethereum wallet, also on Bitcoin wallet, and they can see their entire portfolio in other tokens, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and it's totally free for all to use. This is entirely free, and it's available globally. Now, talking about the developer side of things, that was the consumer side of things where the user is using the application. But when I talk about the developers, when they're trying to integrate the login via Inblox functionality, it is a simple SDK, can be integrated with just 2 lines of code. And it enables signing of transactions, easy user onboarding, and gasless transactions at once. and it is offered through RESTful APIs, JavaScript-based SDKs currently, and entire thing is built on Web3.js, so it's really easy for anyone who is already building on Ethereum to integrate with. Now, we are not just focused on user experience, we are also focused on developer experience. So we have created a state-of-art dashboard for the developer, from where they can create their dApp, generate API keys for the Web3 transactions, and they can monitor the user behavior inside the dApp, which are logged via Inblox, and they can see the entire analytics over there. Now, talking about the market, we obviously the number of Ethereum users are currently active Ethereum users is 4.5 million. That is a serviceable optimal market, because we are totally built on Ethereum right now. And the number of active cryptocurrencies users on a daily basis is 9 million users. So that is the number of users which we can go to, which can have our wallet. And obviously the number of users which are internet users which are out there, the goal is to get them on board on cryptocurrencies, because 10 years down the line, I see everyone on this planet having a cryptocurrency wallet inside their mobile phone, because it will be a need for them. Now, in the future, when I was talking about DeFi access, what we are planning to integrate is direct saving and investing through the Inblox ID wallet, then borrowing and lending directly from the Inblox ID wallet, and going into the derivatives market directly. So we are not planning to build these protocols, but obviously integrating the already existing protocols inside the current application. So talking about the goals and timelines, so the idea was the inception was done in 2019, Q2, Q3, and we were trying to figure out the right kind of market and right kind of product which we can go out. And then in Q4, we started venturing out into blockchain tools. In 2020 Q1, the entire focus was shifted on building blockchain tools and development towards shipping the feature. And in Q2, we built the set of features, which is the accessibility, that is the on-ramp, off-ramp, token swaps, and keyless transactions, and the identity bit of it. And then in Q3, we tested the entire thing, and we have already tested it with a bunch of users, but currently we are in the process of getting our beta launched, and we are looking at acquiring more users over it. And 2021 is totally meant for the DeFi bit. We are first solving the user experience problem. Once that is solved, once we have a minimal amount of users who can find value by using our product, then we can venture out into further services from there. So obviously, this is a very crowded market. There are a lot of players inside in the game. So Taurus is there, IM Token is there, MetaMask, obviously, Potus, Argent, MyCrypto, and a lot of other products also. But what differentiates us is that we are not looking at providing a few features to the user, but what we are focusing on is solving the experience problem, that the user experience when the user is trying to use any of the decentralized application which is integrated with Inblox becomes really easy, as if the user is just using Gmail or any of the traditional applications which are built out there with the same level of security which MetaMask or Potus provides. Now we are building with the best in the industry. So Transact and Kyber are our partners for on-ramp, off-ramp, and token swaps. It's totally built on Ethereum, and we have a grant from IBM Cloud for a year of $120,000 for all the cloud services, which is helping us build the entire thing. So the team, we have Abhimanyu Kashyap, Shikha is there, Megha Ansal is there, and I'm there, and we are trying to build this together. And what we are looking at is business and management consulting. We are looking at feedback and guidance on the technology which we have built so far and what is in the pipeline we are going to build. And access to investors, obviously, because we are actively looking for fundraise currently, and strategic partnerships, because this entire thing is built on the notion of getting dApps integrated. And that is what we are looking at currently. So, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great presentation. I wasn't even aware that that you had some big names like Kyber and IBM on board. And you said you had a $20,000 grant from IBM?
$120,000.
$120,000. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty serious.
Thank you.
I'm going to take some questions first before I pass it over to David. We have some questions coming in from Twitter. We're also, I know some other people were asking some questions. We're going to have, after our next presenter after this, we're going to have about a 30-minute period where we're going to have our people live from Dubai, and Oro Paco will be back on, and hopefully Hopefully you guys can also join us. Just everyone hanging out for 30 minutes. So I will be addressing some of the questions that have been posted on Twitter. If you haven't done so yet, you can tag the specific project and TradeDOG. So Inbloxme is at Inbloxme. That's BLOX. So INBLOX me. And then at TradeDOG1 as well. And make sure to use the hashtags, hashtag TDeFi, hashtag TDeFi pitch day, so that we can get your questions up. I'm looking through the Twitter feeds right now just to curate some of them. So one of the questions that we got here, which was more of an add-on question, but someone wanted to know, will there be a feature for fiat in crypto on-ramp solutions with your application? So I guess right now, especially in the US, Coinbase is the primary on-ramp for people who want to use their Visa card or their debit account to inject some money into the crypto ecosystem. It seems to be a major pain point. We see PayPal coming on board, but you can't withdraw the crypto. So we need better solutions than just the centralized partners of the world. Do you plan to have features that will help to push that use case forward?
Yeah, so we already have Transact integrated over there for on ramps from fiat, and that is already active in US, also in Europe, and in India. So in India, there is something called UPI, which is basically a QR-based interface to Transact. So we are trying to make it as easy for the user as it can be to onboard onto crypto from fiat.
Awesome. Someone asked about security of the platform. You guys are non-custodial, correct?
Yeah, totally non-custodial.
How do you do that from a mobile perspective?
So if you, the way we are storing the keys on the cloud, so it's completely a vault-based mechanism. So everything gets encrypted on the user's end itself. The client encrypts everything. The encryption keys and everything is on the client side, and whatever we are storing on the cloud by the user's consent is totally encrypted. And it's totally flexible for the user. The user can totally decide if the user wants to store the keys on the cloud in a vault, or the user wants to store the keys on inside the mobile application, inside the virtually created HSM inside. So it's totally flexible.
Got it.
If they want, they can delete the keys from the cloud and they can get out of the ecosystem.
Understood. And what is your market size and growth opportunity?
So currently we are looking at integrating with 100 dApps in the next year, next 6 months. So if you look at the transactional volume, which can come with 100 apps, and that can lead us to a growth of approximately $5 million in revenues in next 6 months.
And the last question from Twitter is, how do you plan to expand your market adoption for the product specifically into that timeline?
So if you look at the dApps which are currently integrating these wallet providers like Portis or Fortmatic, they are just providing the wallet, and if you want to do more with the wallet provider, you have to go inside the Portis's interface or inside the Fortmatic's interface and completely getting out of the dApp interface. So the problem we are trying to solve over is the experience piece. So if the user is able to find the simplicity that the user is able to get the crypto at the same place, and the user is able to swap the tokens at the time they're making a transaction on the dApp, I think that is enough of a value addition to get the users on board.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think our next pitch is Font, but they need a few more minutes. So I'm going to pass it out to David here, or maybe Goraf in Dubai.
Can you hear us?
What's that?
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Softly, yeah.
Okay. I think Reggie had some questions.
Yeah, let's pass it out to Reggie on questions. Then maybe you could bring the mic a little closer to your face.
Yeah, for sure. First off, great pitch, man.
Thanks.
Amazing product that you built here. I think part of my question was answered about what Matt asked about the custody aspect. I think that was the first thing that started ringing off in my head, is because it seems that you're integrating a lot of different parties. How are you managing custody? And then the second question, which I think you also answered in regards to encryption on the client side, was how are you dealing with user data specifically?
So that I can personally, I know two of these guys, Apurv and Abhimanyu, from a really long time. So these guys have been, in and out of multiple projects, building up community. So that happens to be the strong point. Apurv, I still remember, I saw I guess 4 years ago, building up an enterprise product solution. So he has an extensive on hand experience building up real blockchain solution for enterprises.
That's
so
awesome.
that way I have a personal attestation to their skill, and let's see how the product does. I mean, by the way, for those, I mean, Dave and Matt, it's astounding for me as well, because I'm looking at the pitch for the first time, and I meet these guys, I guess, every month, if not like 15 days, and we've never discussed the product in such a depth. Good work, guys.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely impressed by this presentation. I think before we kick out, one thing that I did want to address, you had a lot of competitors that you had on screen, some legacy or some older products such as MetaMask and MyCrypto, and some newer ones like I think Argent maybe has been around a little bit longer, but Frontier has been a big splash into the space last few months. I know a lot of VCs were backing them, and I think part of the vertical with them was Polkadot related. Maybe you just want to take this opportunity to say how you're different, how you plan on beating them in the market, and maybe part of your roadmap as well.
So, see, the problem which Frontier, see, the answer lies in the fundamental problem which we both are trying to solve. What the fundamental problem which Frontier is trying to solve is getting the user abreast with the DeFi market specifically. And we are not focused totally on the DeFi market. We are focused on the entire dApp segment. So today it can be the DeFi market, tomorrow it can be something else. And there's no token on Inblox. So there's no token existing on the Inblox network, or there's nothing as such. So it's totally based on the wallet aspect and the user accessibility aspect of it.
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions in reference to for Inblox. So you mentioned you've already had some sort of seed round investment to help you kind of get to this current phase. Where are you at in terms of your roadmap, in terms of development cycle, and what's your kind of next stage in terms of fundraising and to get you kind of to the next level? And maybe you can kind of give us a bit of a sort of a 2021 roadmap, and where those different sort of junctures fit in.
So currently, talking about the development cycle, we have built the entire phase 1 set. We are recently rolling out the new user interface for the users. So if you go out on inblox.me and if you check out the user interface, it's a bit shady, I'll admit that, but you'll find a very nice user interface in 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time, with the mobile application also rolling out. And 2021, we are totally focusing on the money markets, the DeFi market which is out there, and also improving the security aspect of it. So currently, if one more question, I mean, I was expecting this question about the smart contracts audit and the entire system audit, because that is really important. So currently we are doing an open audit as the system is out for the beta launch. And after the open audit is complete, we'll be going for an institutional audit. And that will be enough for us to, approve the system that is secure.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, well, I was definitely impressed by the presentation. You've already got some really well-known backers behind you, which I think always gives anyone that wants to get involved in terms of supporting a project peace of mind, whether they're going to be a user or just looking to invest initially and then try and see the utility. As Matt says, there's a lot of competition, theoretically speaking, in the market in this sort of space of sort of dApps on mobile devices and things like that. But it does feel like we're kind of evolving this space to having much more focus on utility. So all things being equal, it sounds like you've got some good things in the pipeline.